done with this shit. Oh God, I'm done with this shit.
It's over.
Game, bro. Get out of here, bro. Done with bro.
Before everything boiled over, the signs were already there. For months, small but growing concerns of the streaming community had been whispering the same thing. Cenat isn't the same anymore. The guy who once felt raw, spontaneous, endlessly fun to watch was now leaning too hard on the same tricks. The laughs felt a little too loud, the reactions a little too exaggerated, almost rehearsed. It wasn't just casual viewers saying this. It was longtime fans, people who had been there through the meteoric rise, now posting threads about how his content seemed more about making the clip than enjoying the moment. Collabs that once felt organic were beginning to look staged, with guests sometimes playing the role of a set piece rather than a real part of the stream. Subreddit started sharing side-by-side comparisons. Kai in the early days, goofing around naturally with his friends, versus the overamped persona he pushes today. TikToks mocked his NPC laugh and scripted hype. In DMs and chat groups, there was a quiet agreement forming. Something about him felt off. Nobody knew that very soon one live stream would become the perfect storm to take those private suspicions and blast them into the center of the internet. On paper, this was meant to be the kind of crossover moment Twitch eats up. Cenat teaming up with his fellow streaming heavyweight, Jynxzi, for a Clash Royale event. A friendly showdown, big personalities, live audience hype. Jynxzi had put the work in, days of promo, tournament brackets locked, rules ready, and viewers primed for high-energy esports meets entertainment. When cameras went live, the mood felt right for about 5 minutes. Almost immediately, the energy fractured. Kai came in hot, sure, but his attention was everywhere except Jynxzi's carefully built event. The AMP crew was cracking side jokes, riffing about unrelated topics, trying gimmicks, anything but staying on game. Tight brackets and esports pacing got bulldozed by pure chaos. For Jynxzi, this wasn't just awkward, it was career jeopardy playing out in real time. He'd sold his audience on a competitive night worth showing up for. Now they were watching their streamer wrestle for airtime on what was supposed to be his stage. Every time he tried to wrangle the group back into the tournament flow, his voice got brushed over.
Y'all want to do a tournament? I think that would be fire, bro. Like if y'all play each other.
Echo? Who's echoing? Kai, fix your shit,
it might
bro.
be me. Wait, is it better now?
So go to your account, go to social, and then go to invite friend. That's a yellow button. Click that, and then you copy that.
Hey, anybody in the chat want him?
About your account.
Anybody?
Oh, choose your player name.
He's single. Anybody in the chat want him?
So
Anybody single in the chat?
Chat. I don't even know if this is gonna happen. Bro. I don't even know if that single word I've said it.
You could see it in his body language, the forced smile tightening, the pauses between sentences getting longer as he realized they weren't listening. Meanwhile, in Kai's chat, the undercurrent shifted. The W Kai spam that usually fuels his streams was being replaced by L after L. Viewers were clocking the disrespect, calling him out for turning a collab into what looked more like a backdrop for his own variety show.
Anybody single in the chat?
Chat. I don't even know if this is gonna happen. Bro. I don't even know if that single word I've said it.
That spam one about to smack.
Can you guys hear me?
The breaking point came fast. Jynxzi, reading the room, didn't blow up or demand attention. He quietly hit end stream. To millions of Twitch users, that click was louder than any argument could have been. Maybe Kai thought the fun could just keep rolling without him. Maybe he didn't clock how bad it looked. But to the audience, especially those who'd been side-eyeing him for weeks, this was Exhibit A, a perfect, unedited example of what they've been saying. Kai was too big for the same rules as everyone else. And in the hours to come, that quiet exit button from Jynxzi's side would ignite a very public firestorm. The kind you just can't laugh your way out of. The moment Jynxzi tapped out of the stream, the internet went to work. In an era where clips travel faster than apologies, it didn't take long for Twitch, Twitter, and Reddit to erupt. The raw footage was everywhere. Jynxzi trying to lead, Kai joking over him. Viewers watching the tournament dissolve. then seeing their favorite host walk away in defeat. It was messy and impossible to spin. Kai's chat from celebration to revolt in seconds, L, and Kai sold spam filled the comment feed. Fans who had shrugged off previous criticisms now had proof delivered live. This was no innocent miscommunication, but a clear moment of disrespect. The narrative spread. Kai wasn't just overlooking a guest, he was steamrolling a collaborator who brought his own audience and built the event from scratch. It wasn't long before reaction clips cropped up. Content creators were dissecting the timeline, pausing the key moments, pointing out every missed cue and every awkward transition. Even Kai's usual defenders were suddenly silent. When the tide turns in real time, there's no time for corporate PR or slow apology arcs. You have to perform regret on the spot.
Kinda crazy that the whole chat started saying L Kai. Kai's community is low-key riders. Anything that he posts, anything at all, they're gonna eat it up, bro. This wasn't a cool situation. Jynxzi didn't really deserve to be treated like that.
Kai, realizing things had gone sideways, tried to take control. On stream, he offered up explanations. He didn't know it was Jynxzi's event. He thought it was just normal chaos. He never meant to ignore anyone. He publicly invited Jynxzi back, promising to run it right next time. But the apology landed flat. Viewers had seen the live feed. Apology after the fact looked like damage control, not authentic remorse.
Let's see. Al Kai. What am I doing? Why does it say Al Kai?
Kai doubled down by framing the whole fiasco as an innocent misunderstanding rather than a case of outright disregard. He insisted that the stream's free-form chaotic style was simply how AMP operates, and that he assumed everyone was vibing with the energy. In his telling, there was no deliberate snub, just a mismatch of expectations between a structured tournament host and his more spontaneous approach to content. By leaning on this different streaming styles angle, Kai was trying to paint himself as a victim of misinterpretation, positioning the incident as a culture clash instead of an ego issue, and subtly shifting the blame away from intent. The backlash had layers. On social media, fans debated whether Kai's attitude was a one-off or a pattern. Old clips resurfaced, other events, other collabs. The times he'd seemed to forget who was actually sharing the spotlight. Some called it ego. Some called it a sign of burnout. Others said it was the price of fame, letting you bend the rules. What was clear, Kai's unforced error had become a test case for how influencer accountability plays out in real time. You can't charm your way out of the receipts when the whole internet has watched you mess up. The consequences weren't just PR. They were a turning point for how the streaming world sees genuine collaboration and respect. Just as Kai was scrambling to manage the fallout from the Jynxzi disaster, an old rumor reignited. And this time, it threatened to hit where it hurt most, his integrity. The controversy centered around his pledged charity project in Makoko, Nigeria, a school he'd promised to fund with money raised during a hyped subathon. For months, fans and critics had been asking, where's the school? But now, things blew open on social media. Viral videos circulated showing footage of crumbling buildings in Nigeria, accompanied by captions declaring Kai ran off with the money. The clips painted a simple picture: a streamer who'd pocketed charity funds, leaving the community he claimed to help with nothing. YouTube accounts, Twitter threads, and Discord gossip churned these clips into trending proof of fraud. For a scandal-weary internet, it was almost too convenient. But
Hello, family. Say hello, family. Hello, children. Hello, family.
Say hello, children. I'll tell you.
Hello, children. Okay, before we hand over the mic to them, we are going to give Shank a love clap again, because last time he gave you people 30,000 naira. Abby?
But like most viral outrage, reality was murkier. The supposed proof turned out to be recycled footage from an unrelated travel vlogger, someone who'd never even mentioned Kai. Still, once TikTok and Twitter algorithms latched on, the difference between fake and real progress hardly mattered. The narrative was set. Kai is a villain in a new grift.
This is how the school is going to be built. Basketball court, playground, AMP soccer field, and it's all done. I want to go there on stream and open it.
Meanwhile, those following the project more closely saw something else. On streams and socials, Kai had periodically shared updates, architectural concept art, videos of cleared land, foundations poured, solar panels being installed. He even outlined setbacks. Severe storms had demolished early construction, local permits were delayed, and replacement teams brought new costs and further lag. Screenshots revealed over $1 million actually spent or earmarked, but the updates were scattered, buried under memes and misinformation. The real root of the backlash? Communication. In a vacuum of regular, transparent reporting, criticism thrives. Kai's lack of consistent, clear updates gave just enough ammo for haters and doubters to fill the gaps with their own wild conclusions. And the internet, primed by previous drama, was eager to believe the worst. It was a perfect storm of modern scandal. A slower-than-expected charity build. A rumor mill that operates faster than the truth. And a streamer with fresh credibility wounds who suddenly looked like he was about to lose everything, not just his reputation. For viewers, this controversy wasn't simply about building in Nigeria. It was about trust, how quickly it can evaporate, and how hard it is to rebuild once lost in a blizzard of outrage and half-truths. Right as the backlash around Kai's collabs and charity transparency began erupting, another controversy caught fire. One that turned the streaming spotlight to a different arena: collective charity, influencer virtue signaling, and the high-stakes optics of doing good. At the center was YouTube titan Mr. Beast, who had recently launched his Team Water campaign, a global charity initiative geared toward providing clean water in developing regions. Mr. Beast's signature strategy was to publicly invite some of the biggest creators, including Kai, XQC, Pokimane, and Aiden Ross, to participate either by promoting the cause or making substantial donations on stream.
I didn't want to make it weird. It's just that I thought, dude, Kai blocked my number. Fair enough, right? No drama there. Just blocked my number, right? So I can't collect my 100K, which is fine. Just like, so I thought, dude, just put it for a good cause. And I thought I'll double that on top of that, right? Just right there. It's already.
Kai's absence was conspicuous. He hadn't appeared in the campaign promotional videos, nor had he announced any contribution, contrasting sharply with other creators who went all in. XQC publicly dropped $100,000. Pokimane offered support across her own platforms. Aiden Ross turned participation into a spectacle by challenging his fellow streamers to match my $400,000. Momentum built quickly. Viewers began bombarding Kai with questions about his absence. Was it an innocent oversight, creative differences, or something else? Clips circulated of his past philanthropic efforts, but those moments were lost in a sea of, why isn't Kai stepping up this time? Tweets ranged from gentle prods, hey, where's Kai, to harsher condemnations. Guess he only cares about charity when it's his own brand. Aiden Ross cranked things up on stream, calling out Kai by name and making it personal. He suggested Kai's lack of participation was a mark of self-interest, arguing that it's not just about giving money, but showing up when the community needs you. The move was polarizing. Some fans saw Aiden's challenge as genuine and passionate, tough love in support of a good cause. Others, included several creators, called it performative guilt-tripping, a public flex for clout as much as contribution. The reality? Kai had never formally agreed to join Team Water, nor had Mr. Beast set a mandatory donation requirement for any invitee. Industry insiders confirmed Kai was preoccupied with legal fallout, business pivots, and the Nigeria project. He was stretched thin, and the timing hadn't aligned for a high-profile joint effort. But that nuance was lost in the conversation. In streaming culture, optics matter as much as actions, and absence can be taken as a statement. Kai's silence, whether fair or not, fed a narrative of disengagement. Viewers felt left down. Viewers felt let down, and rivals seized the opportunity to draw sharp divisions between builders and spectators in the creator world.
What up, Streamer University? I got 10 bands here. Kai, I want you to put this under someone's seat and give it to him.
Say less. Look on
The Team Water controversy hadn't cooled before Aiden Ross, never one to shy away from drama, decided to up the ante. Live on stream, he threw down a very public gauntlet, challenging Cenat to match his massive $400,000 donation to Mr. Beast's cause. In front of thousands, Aiden pressed pause on the usual banter and spoke directly to the camera, calling for Kai and other top creators to join him, not just in giving, but in making their philanthropy a visible, headline-making event. Within hours, clips of the guilt challenge were everywhere. Fans already questioning Kai's absence now saw the pressure not just as peer encouragement, but as a kind of social test. A visible line dividing those who really cared from those who only said they did. The response was mixed. Some rallied behind Aiden's competitive spirit. If you've got the money, put your name on the board. Others saw it as transparent clout chasing, the sort of manufactured spectacle that makes genuine charity feel performative. Kai, having already weathered days of criticism about his Team Water silence, now faced an even murkier dilemma. He hadn't set aside money for his public moment. He'd never formally accepted the challenge. He was dealing with fallout from other controversies, a busy schedule, business pivots, and ongoing dramas. But in the fast-moving world of streaming, explanations lag behind expectation. Viewers wanted action. The tension reflected a deeper truth about influencer culture. Giving is no longer just a private act. It's content. It's optics. It's a badge to wear for millions to see. Even Mr. Beast, whose intent was always about impact, recognized that the game had changed. The biggest donations became viral leaderboard stats, and creators felt forced to go bigger, louder, riskier, each striving not just to help, but to prove their generosity in public. Kai's reluctance was scrutinized intensely. Was he being selfish? Was he protecting his brand? Or was he simply refusing to play by Aiden's scripted rules, resisting a culture that turns every act of kindness into a high-stakes reality competition? Behind the scenes, other influencers debated the virtue of these philanthropic challenges. In leaked calls and offline chats, some worried the guilt pressure set a dangerous precedent, where missing one campaign or hesitating to donate could instantly brand someone greedy or insincere. Others confessed they felt forced to give more than they could afford, terrified of being the next viral snub. Aiden's challenge, for all its showmanship, crystallized the new dilemma facing high-profile creators. Generosity is expected, but performative generosity is demanded. Kai, caught in the crossfire of accountability culture and influencer rivalry, found that even good intentions and private charity couldn't shield him from criticism when the spectacle demanded a public pledge. By now,
nobody really guessed it. I'm not going to.
What they say?
They were just saying anything. They were just saying anything. I'm not
No
going to lie.
chance. Dude, you know the craziest part?
No, not one person said Eric, by the way.
One person.
Nobody said. Let's go. So look.
Let's go.
So look, Eric has won round.
By now, Kai wasn't just the focus of a controversy. He'd become the centerpiece of a viral spectacle. Within hours of the Aiden Ross charity challenge, the digital floodgates opened. TikTok edits, YouTube thumbnails, Twitter memes all churned out at insane speed, compiling every misstep into a viral judgment reel. Old clips resurfaced, fresh ones got stitched together, and the collective energy felt less like a spontaneous backlash and more like a coordinated digital takedown. Viewers and creators started patching together patterns. This wasn't just about one botched stream or a missed donation. It was about an alleged history of Kai prioritizing himself over collaboration, over service workers, over streaming ethics. Clips of Kai declining high tips to DoorDash drivers suddenly resurfaced, reigniting past debates about generosity and privilege. Other sequences showed him dominating collabs, sidelining guests to pump up his own hype, and missing cues when teammates tried to take the spotlight. If the internet spotlight was already burning, things got even hotter when the criticism came from within. AMP isn't just Kai's creative crew, it's his inner circle, his trusted collaborators, his day one support. For fans, AMP had always seemed like a tight-knit squad. No matter how wild the streams got, these friends had each other's backs. But as the drama escalated, the cracks started showing, and it was Phantom who peeled back the curtain.
10 years old. He would come in, sock me. I said, damn, I'm on live. I'm thinking embarrassing. The chat going crazy. I said, you gotta show your life, bro. That's the whole point of life, you feel me? That makes you be you, bro, because nobody can be you better than you, bro.
Phantom, an OG member with his own loyal following, went live with a confession that surprised even his closest viewers. Slipping between frustration and disappointment, he spoke about how working with Kai had changed. The energy was off, the humor more forced, and crucially, the sense of team was slipping away. Phantom described a pattern that matched what internet critics were noticing. Kai was harder to work with, more preoccupied with his own moment than the crew's growth, and less interested in genuine collaboration behind the scenes. What stung most was Phantom's description of Kai's real personality versus his performance for the camera. He admitted that the Kai seen on stream, the hype, the jokes, the wild reactions, didn't always match the Kai in meetings or private chats. There were stories of ideas getting hit down, conflicts brushed aside, and team feedback ignored. For the first time, viewers got a glimpse of the ego, impatience, and stubbornness that sometimes drove the content, even if it risked the squad's chemistry. If Phantom's comments rattled Kai's fan base, the quiet reaction from the rest of the industry was deafening. Creators who once jumped at the chance to collab with him began taking a careful step back. Invitations slowed, joint streams that had been teased weeks before quietly vanished from schedules. It wasn't just about bad optics, it was risk management. In the high-stakes world of streaming, drama is contagious, and pairing your brand with someone in the middle of a credibility spiral can be career poison. Even longtime allies chose to wait it out, avoiding appearances that might tie them to Kai's ongoing controversies. Behind the scenes, production companies and event organizers started second-guessing deals. A brand sponsor for a planned AMP live event reportedly pulled out, citing concerns over public sentiment. Peers like XQC and even mid-tier streamers maintained polite distance, skipping over opportunities to mention Kai in their own shows. The effect was bigger than any meme storm. Kai's network was shrinking in real time. Trust was no longer just fragile with fans, it was eroding with the very people whose support once fueled his rise. And in streaming, isolation can be the first step towards irrelevance. Kai's rise was built on energy, charisma, and connection. But now, trust is slipping away. With fans questioning, peers distancing, and his inner circle showing cracks, the next move could define his career. This isn't just a rough patch, it's the moment he decides who he really is in streaming.